Hey guys, I'm back at it again, and I've been wanting to do some UI for quite a while, and for some reason I've been putting it off because my previous experience with it has been a bit crappy in the past. I've done some cool stuff. One of my old games had some fairly elaborate UI, which was easy to do. It's just it was a bit overkill to manage it using user widgets and stuff. I feel like I'd missed some key aspect of how HUDs work. But it functioned. It had like the your team. You had lots of little what am I going for here? You had kind of like a player name, um, their abilities with their cooldown, their weapon and its weapon status, all that kind of stuff. And it would change color based on who you had selected. I'm just gonna see if I could find a quick example because I did do a few videos of this a while back. Let me. So it's really basic stuff, but you can see here it's I mean their name was just the what do you want to call it, their role, I suppose, DPS here, the tank, etc. And then their gun status, ability, and this would like build up and down as they use their abilities. I don't have any examples in that one. Let me load this instead. Here we go. So I did like damage numbers coming up, and you can see their abilities recharging, they're reloading their weapon, that kind of stuff. And then this is all dynamic, so as new party members came and left, this would be updated. And all that kind of stuff. This is when I first did particle effects in the Unreal Engine 4. I think this was barely a year after it came out or something. I have little cast bars and stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to do all that kind of stuff again. But as it turns out, this morning I was actually able to get something fairly decent working. So let's show you what we've got. So now you can see bars over the enemy drones. I also, in the previous episode, changed the damage numbers, so we're going to be getting our ass handed to us. There we go, we're dead. I also made the sky backdrop a bit, the space a bit more interesting. So I now know that these are my teammates, these are my enemies, and stuff like that. However, it's still very hard to find the objectives. I'm also very bad at my own game, it seems. Wait. Okay, I'm just not leading shots at all. Okay. But there we go. So we've got some really basic UI, and that took me about half an hour this morning to put together. So I'll just run over this because it's very straightforward. So all I've done, let's just go into the code. Close all of this. That's my phone. Hang on. There we go. Nobody ever messages me. So we've got is two methods. The first of which is just getting all the drones in the world. And the second of which is getting the enemy drones. So we have a player drone, which is the drone the HUD's assigned to, and then it checks whether their teams are different, and if they are, adds them to the list, sends them out. Pretty straightforward. So this is just a generic class that inherits from the base class HUD with some helper functions, essentially, just to make it less convoluted to do it inside the blueprint, which the blueprint will inevitably, I will convert that down into C++. So the code you see in here, all of this will eventually just be put into C++. But for the purposes of actually testing whether stuff works or not, this is like seconds. I literally just drag a couple of boxes around and hit go. So it's that's the power of blueprints anyway. Then all you have to do to get the game using your HUD is go into the game mode C++, and you get a class finder. You make it find an HUD class, and you copy the reference to your HUD, and then you put an _C after it. So just as an example, if I go back here, all you have to do is, so this is I made a blueprint class of the C++ one, and then you go copy reference, you go into here, you paste it, and then you just put the _C after it here, and then you put it into this line of text. And then you assign the HUD class to the HUD.class, which is that. And then the game will use the blueprint version. And then everything inside the HUD blueprint is all driven around the receive draw HUD method. And in our case, we want to get all the enemy drones, which is using the method inside the HUD here. And we use the U function, make it blueprint callable, set a category, and this allows the blueprint to access these methods. And then we're looping for each, and we're running determine indicators. So this is where I plan to do the majority of the code, at least in terms of the enemies on the screen. Eventually I'll do the objectives and stuff as well. Now, the bit which bugs me at the moment is the HUD isn't necessarily assigned to a specific controller. I'm unsure of how to get the current player, because conceptually to me a player has a HUD, but the HUD in this case doesn't belong to a particular individual. So this get player controller will need to change to get the actual player controller, rather than just the first one. And it only works with just the first one because we're the only one in the game at the moment. So when it goes multiplayer, I'll have to change all of this. But in any case, we come into this code, we get told what drone we found, we get their location, and then there's this HUD specific method called project world to screen. Oh, well, not HUD specific, but it's what we should be using. And then we pass in the location, get the player, and then we get a screen position. Now my assumption is this return value is determining whether or not it is actually visible on the screen. And this is really useful. This is something I want to make use of in the false side of this later. So if I'm right, if it's false, what we can do is perform some kind of, not necessarily like a line trace, but we want to get the closest actual screen position to that object, and we want to put an indicator saying that there's an enemy on like this side of the screen or something. So I really need like a blackboard or whiteboard thing. So if this is the screen and there's actually like an enemy, all over here or something, we want the false in here to instead produce like a triangle kind of thing. And then if there's like an objective over here, we want a same again down there, etc. That's the plan. I've no idea how to approach that, but I'll find out. But for now, once we've got their location, a screen position, we're drawing a bar. So this bar is made up of a start and a stop for the X and Y coordinates. So what I'm doing is this is getting the X coordinates, which is the horizontal position on the screen. I'm adding 10 to it because it seems to start slightly off center perhaps. I could be wrong, but to me it looks a bit out of place. And then we want the same Y coordinates, but we want to reduce. Oh, hang on. Is that right? It's doing the same value to each. Yes, that's right, because the Y coordinates is the up, down, and apparently minus 30 is higher in the screen. Because I mean, if I hit play, you can see where they're coming up. So it positions them. Oh, not stop, pause. That's intriguing. Anyway, so if I don't have the minus 30, the bar would be like underneath it here, and then they're always, because of this perspective, they're always kind of going to be a bit out of place. So you can see here, these ones are moving this direction, so their central point is actually like here, not here where it's being shown, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, so this is just kind of aligning the bar, and the X value is making it plus and minus 10 from its central position, so it's kind of a bit before and a bit after. And what I want to do is make the line color actually representative of their current health, just as proof of concept, really. So we've got access to the drone, and I've gone in the code and made it so we can get their health status, which is, believe it or not, a color. And if I hit compile, doesn't match the return. That's intriguing. Let me close this. I've not experienced that one before. It looks like the hot reload didn't work. Let's just restart it and see if we get similar issues. Oh, I can close that. But it's looking good now. At least we have a very primitive means of determining friend from foe. And we can always attach a widget to the characters that gets displayed on the screen, although I've always had issues with those. So it compiles now. Oh, look at that. So if we let them... Yes. Okay, it's working. But you see, now we've spawned, we have no idea where to go. So it would have been nice, like this objective here, to have like an arrow over here somewhere saying there's an enemy objective for you to claim. Yes, awesome. Obviously it still shows them when they're dead, so I just need to fix that. which I'm actually doing. Do I do it in the C++ or in here? I need to make that method accessible. Hang on. This is where the only reason we're making these methods accessible is because they we're doing stuff in blueprints, but realistically we shouldn't need to. But fortunately, just after doing that, we can just hit the recompile. And once that's done, we should have access to that method. And yeah, making this code inside C++ is almost a straight conceptual like copy and paste. The methods are named the same. We have the same level of access to them. It should be fine. Shouldn't be a problem at all. So let's see. Perfect. And then we do a branch. And then we only draw the lines if they're alive. Yeah, the hot reload doesn't. Okay. Hot reload's having some issues. Cancel. Let me. I like the idea of the live coding. Let's just see if we recompile it, see if it. Yeah, so it's complaining that it doesn't match hot reloaded drone character. So it's not successfully I suppose save the objects or something. It's like it's missed part of the Unreal's generation code or something like that. I'm not all 100% sure on how that works. I don't know functionally how it works. It calls the compile the same premises up here where we hit run. And then it basically reloads, it overrides its symbol database with what it generates. So now we hopefully shouldn't see any of the dead ones. Yeah, there we go. It didn't show any. Yeah, so it stops showing them. Excellent. Now we have some basic level UI for that. So actually, I have an idea. Let's actually start converting the code in here. I am surprised when you override the HUD class, it doesn't auto-generate the receive HUD draw methods. So, go to the documentation. So yeah, it's got the same, like this is what we were doing, draw 3D, 2D line. That's no, that's not quite what we want. Draw actor overlays. That's interesting. Might have to look into that one. Okay, it's just draw HUD then. Excellent. It's got no properties or anything, so Wonderful. So we stop this because it doesn't matter at the moment. Fine. Do it myself. That should work. And then in here we want to do the same as what we had in the blueprint. So all we have to do is this, this, oh, oops. Oh, what am I doing? I actually don't need to do that at all. So we know that that's the case. So we have an enemy drone. And then we want to do drone. Draw enemy indicators. So here we go. So we have I believe it's gameplay statistics, project world to screen. And oh, I'm not sure quite what happened there. Oh, I know. We want to do get player drone dots get controller. So the position is going to be drone dot get actor location, and then it's an output. So we want oh, vector 2D, sorry. Screen position. Okay, so now we have the drone, we've got the screen position of the drone, and then we can do draw a line, and now we have this. So we want, is it floats? Yeah, it's just a load of floats. Cool. Float start X. Y. And X. Easy as this. And then all we do is start X. So we want X is going to equal screen position dot X. And as we found, you want this to be +10. And then this is going to be Y. This is going to be Y. And then we want -30. And then the start X is going to be X minus 10. End X plus 10. And then the Y position is just going to be the same. And then all we do, so it's start, start, end, end goods, and then the line color, and then the line thickness. So start X, start Y, and X, end Y. Drone dot get health status, and this isn't that's just a color, so you want F linear color. I believe we can just do that, and the line thickness is just going to be 5 for now. And then all we do is and it's as simple as that. So we create the declaration. And that's it. We've done all of the code that we've done in the other blueprints in this many lines of code. The HUD blueprint class may complain at us, but that's whatever. Let's see what happens. Oh, I may have forgotten. Oh, right. Firstly, I've forgotten to import this. It does tend to help. Oh, and it returns a ball, so we want Boolean object successful. There we go. So we'll be using this later to determine whether or not they're actually on the screen or not. Let's have a look. Cannot convert from. Oh, okay. Let's a wait, what is it? It's that we're trying to do. Good grief. Get controller. Oh, sorry, it's got player drone. We'll get controller. Controller. Alright, let's try this again. I think that's what it was complaining about. Oh. Undefined. Oh, for some reason I always forget to do the imports. So as you can see, blueprints are great because I could just very rapidly make the changes and stuff. But now if I go into this and I get rid of that and hit save and we hit play, it works. So it's not using the blueprint code at all. And we can come into here, hit a debug line, and bang, we have a drone. We have the start and end positions of everything. It's found the controller successfully. We've got screen position, you know, it all works perfectly. And now I can actually, now that I've got a proof of concept, I can come in back into this. I can just straight up delete those methods. I can get rid of that. So all we have to worry about realistically is this, where we get the player controller, and we need to get the right one. And I will have to look into this. I'll probably have to put a Reddit post on or something. So I have no idea. Because it was my assumption that they HUD belongs to a controller or something. Oh god, I'm being massacred. Okay, so what we can do now is some very useful things. So we've got this draw enemy indicator. But what we also want, that would be nice to see, is, let's say, nah, probably not objective status. Can I draw a box? I'm trying to think what would be quite useful to do. Because the point of the particle effects is to show you their health. I just did it just as a proof of concept for myself to see if it would work. So like I said, we need the like off-screen indicators. I'm wondering, I mean, a mini map would be cool. Oh, wait, rude. See, now I know they're enemies. Oh, I need to do that check in here. Excellent. Okay, so this is the point where we can determine whether or not they're off screen. I think. Let's just run this and make sure that it still works as it was. I'm sure it will. But yeah, we've got all that HUD just in there's a couple lines of code, so very simple. Yeah, so they go off the screen and I can't see them. Okay. I'm just going to see if someone else has done this. Well, there's one in Unity. Feels a bit cheaty sometimes doing this. Let's think. So we have their actual location. So this is when we don't. So we know the position is off screen. Does it still come back with a position? So let's just copy that in there and come into here. Let's just see what we get when they are off screen, because the position may be like zeroed. Oh, am I wrong? Is it always successful? Okay, not quite. It happened once. Okay, so it is happening. It could be because my screen's not full screen and that they were actually appearing on there most of the time. Maybe not. Okay, I will look into what that does then. To the source document. Ah. Okay, to the codes? I guess. Shouldn't take it too long to find that. There we go. They haven't marked the out parameter. How interesting. Okay. Mate. And result post process. Okay, interesting. It's not really oh. The results, so it's gonna project world to screen. If that's successful, no, it does. Success equals the success previous one and post process world to screen. Okay. You can calculate view projection. Just whilst we're here, see if there's something useful. Grass overlapping sphere count. It's very specific. It does have some pretty useful functions in here. Different projectile pathway. Good grief. Right. So how do I determine whether a point is actually visible or not? Because we basically want Something like if position not on screen, clamp position to screen size. So I'm going to assume that the position is going to be almost like a resolution kind of position. So it will be like, I'm on a 1980 by 1080, I think. I think that's the standard. No, 1920 by 1080. So I'd imagine the screen position might be something like that. So it's, yeah, okay. And that's, let me stop that a sec. Yeah, 1000. Yeah, that seems likely. Or at least it's based on like the viewport size. So let's try something. Greater than, so we want like a, what do we have access to? We've got like a viewport. We've got, that sounds reasonable. Let's have a look. This is what I'm thinking. Okay. So there's game viewpoint, view, G-engine, viewport size, X, Y. Okay. So let's have a look. Game engine viewport widget. Seems reasonable. Okay, so that's returning. Is that a list? Or is it to objects? allocated size. Okay, instead, let's try this. Then there it is. Okay, this is to out parameters, I guess. So we want to do what are they? BPX. It usually goes X and Y. Okay, so if it's greater than that, then we do. Do we have? Let me just have a look. Pretty sure I have a clamp value in here. I do. I'm unsure as to why that's not working. This is going to be in 32. I think this actually might be a float. Float, okay. Current value, that's the maximum. That's the current, sorry, I think this is the current value, the maximum, minimum. Let me just check that. Why do I keep closing these things? Current value max min. Yeah, excellent. So that should limit it to that. Then we need, so we don't want that, but we do want something like within bounds. And then so we've had to do some clamping. We want to copy that, but now we want the X value. Hang on, let me screen X. Screen Y. Sorry, I will explain this in a second. I'm hoping people understand this, though. Pardon me. YY, XX, false, false. Otherwise, we want to do something else. Okay, let's see what happens. I want to see what kind of numbers we're getting for this. It is also possible the screen position isn't necessarily 0 to the max. It could be centered, where 0, 0 is the dead center of the screen, not the bottom corner. Okay. Interesting. Wait. Conditions. Okay, so it is false sometimes. And based on that, oh, no, sorry. No, I just told you to stop. Right. We need to do this, because it's not a pointer to the value to start with. Okay, so it can go out of bounds. If it's out of bounds, then we instead want to draw box, possibly. That looks a little insane. Draw text. I think I just do that. A color. Probably want it blue. So then all we do is we get screen X, screen Y, see what happens. So we're checking whether we're within the range. It does look like Y can go to minus. I have to assume that X might as well. So we may have to check for minus values of being too much. I'm not seeing any text coming up. Let's see if it functions at all. So it's doing it, but I'm not seeing it. I would have thought I would be okay. Perhaps the draw text isn't working. Let's keep this simple, shall we? Oh, hang on. First and foremost, Shouldn't be using those anymore. Just to be a bit more consistent. Let's just comment that out for now. So it's going to draw a line as well. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it's fine. Let me guess. Yeah, okay, so it's working. Okay, let's try this. We want it to be, we want to limit it to, let's go with minus 50. And that's so we can sort of make it appear still on the screen, so it's not at the outermost extent. But I have a suspicion that these values are sort of from a plus to minus, from a 0, 0 in the center. Okay. Yeah. Oh dear. One 848 and 901. But the values we're getting are like, yeah, minus a lot. So we need to clamp it within the minus range as well. So we realistically, we want a copy of this, but then we want if that is if minus that is less than y. Yeah, let me think about this. Let's put this in another method. Okay. So we have a float. It's the value. Float. It's the min. Float. That's the max. Okay, so we only want one of these. Wait, let me get rid of that. So we definitely need that. The concept. So if the value is greater than the max, then its max if the value is greater than the minus max, then I think we do it as well. Wait, we don't need the min, because the min's always 0 in arc in this case. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So if we're greater than the maximum, and if this is a minus value, that wouldn't be the case, so we're fine. Otherwise, if we are less than the inverse of the maximum, yeah. Floats modifier integration. Okay, so this should do the trick, hopefully. And then I'm going to make that cool. And we're essentially let me think about this. It's value BPY screen Y, and we don't care about the modifier. And then we do the same for X. Get rid of those. If that's not equal to or the same for X. So if these have changed, then we know that that we've modified it. So it's been clamped, and then we do within bounds equals false. Right. Got there in the end. So this is going to check whether a value is within the bounds of a min and a positive or a negative, and try and draw it closer to 0. And that should do the trick, hopefully. I want to see if we come into this ever, which we should. Oh dear. Alright, we immediately come into this. What I'm kind of expecting is that like right now, there should be health bars and stuff being displayed to around the sides of the screen. Because 36,000, like, what? Oh, I've been an idiot. I haven't used these values. We're doing this in either case. Oh wait, we're doing the exact same thing regardless, aren't we? Yeah, hang on. This is just gonna happen regardless. Because we're still drawing the health bars. Come on. Okay. Uh, um. Intriguing. So they're off screen. Okay, let's figure this out, shall we? Perhaps this needs to be an else. Hi, Max. Wait, let's put it in there. Yeah, so it's coming up. So that's fine. And then this one, value. What? Okay. I put these in the wrong way around. I think I put these in the wrong way around. Because that's value. That's the max. No wonder. We're getting there. We are actually getting there. I mean, it functions. I mean, it like put health bars on the end of the screen, right? That was the important bit. So they were always visible, even if they weren't in the right place. Sorry about this. This is, but I guess this is what you gotta do, right? I mean, perhaps not. Okay, I'm at a loss. Um, okay, the clamp value is the value and then the maximum. This is coming out as the right X and Y, so it's X and Y, yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, actually, this code shouldn't be being run anyway, right? What are we trying to do here? So we have the value, initial value, that, let's make the modifier 0. We stop this. So we're using the X and the Y, the X and the Y. That's fine. That's not right. There we go. That will be one decent reason. The X and the Y are the wrong way around. Every time we do this, we eliminate a problem. There, now we're talking. So they're still not like going off screen. Y, X, X, X. So, okay, let's do this just to make sure. We don't need that. We don't need this. You need to do all of that in that order for sure. X, X, Y, Y, X, X, Y, X, X, Y, X, Y, start, start, end, end. Okay, I'm just going to stop it entirely and start again just to make sure. You never know. And then this is the minus version. plus the modifier, so it takes it closer to 0. Alright. Let's see. So the value is greater than that. So yeah, if we reduce it 50, the value max minus 50. And it's... So this is doing it for that. Let's check the -1 real quick. So the value is 10,000. Uh-huh. Which should be brought, yeah. Which is the maximum plus 50. Yeah. Okay, so those are working. And then in this particular instance, we end up with start y, start x, which was the big -1. Perhaps it's not on screen enough. Let's stop and let's set the modifier to something a little more extreme, like 500. If I can't get this working in like the next 5-10 minutes, I will stop and mess around with it a bit more, double check that the values are right. It seems to be fine though. Hang on, let me just hit the last X, X, Y, Y. Yep. Okay. That's promising. So we are actually seeing... So perhaps I'm interpreting the positions incorrectly. Because we're like... The health bars, that was for... someone over there? And it's not mine. Yeah, because there's a few there, so it... Okay. That actually looked fairly decent. Cancel that. Look, just stop. Stop. Okay, let's set this to 200. And all of these subtle changes here are just to position the health bars on top of the actors correctly. Okay, so that means there's some enemies down here, which there are. Okay. Oh. And so there's an enemy. Oh, there was an enemy down there. There's some... Okay, so it's functional. 200 is still a little extreme. So let's make it 100. Recompile that. We're getting close. It's when they go up that I don't see them. So the down works, the up not so much. Uh, the up is their y value. Oh, y needs to be inverted. Hang on. It should technically still work, but I believe y minus is up. No, but that should still... Oh, this is so confusing. Okay, let's make the... I don't know, let's just see what that does. I think that's going to cause problems though. Oh, so they're coming up on the sides now. No, okay, that's not the problem. All we're trying to do is keep this within the range of their actual position. Because we shouldn't be manipulating the position of these values at all. We should just be limiting them to where they are off screen. Because if... Let's think... let's do this. Nice. So let's just do that. All right. So we got this. So if we can't zoom out. Let's say this is about center, and let's say there's a drone up here, and this is going to be like 200x, and I know minus is up. I don't know why. I'm going to wager, actually, if this is 0, 0, then it's going to be something like this. And then the positive x goes along here, negative x goes along here, positive y, minus y. However, minus y seems to be more up because their health bars are higher. And that's because we've added minus 30. So it's actually stop that. Do I actually have a drawing tool that would be of any use for doing this kind of stuff? I mean, I've got that. I'm just trying to get it right in my head, I suppose. I wish the draw text on screen worked. I don't know, let's just see what this does, because we've put it back to what it was before-ish. So we're not getting them coming up anywhere. Okay. So last time it worked, it was at like 200. So let's just put this to... It could be that they're still just off screen. Yeah. See, it doesn't work for the ones that go up. Hmm. I suppose something I could do. Um oh, I don't know. So it doesn't work with the values when they are above me on the screen. Okay, I'm gonna call it there, basically. Yeah, view target, that's interesting. I just want to see if there's anything useful. Get square distance, spawn location. It's probably not going to be useful, is it? Okay. All right. Yeah, I will figure this out and come back with the results. But nevertheless, we have enemy indicators. Um, like I said before, their actual health color and stuff. This won't be drawing a line. This will inevitably be drawing, or it may not even be drawing something on the HUD. It just might be used to determine whether we highlight the drone, which could be particle effects or like an outline, shader or something that we turn on and off, um, or and then if they're outside of the screen, then we draw something on the HUD, basically. But I will figure this one out and I will get back to you guys. But if again, thanks for watching if you are. But we have the basic premise of a HUD that we can do anything we want with. Once I learn to draw text, I can put something in the bottom right corner that's like the textual representation of your health, shields, energy, etc. And then like your weapon and things. And then we can start moving it into using user widgets and actually like proper UI. I say proper UI, I mean it's going to be the default UI look and feel that this game the Unreal Engine offers, which is fine. And it's better than what I've got going at the moment. Um, and then we can come back and maybe do a mini map. I'm not sure it would be necessary, but to be honest, it might be fun to just get a working example of a mini map. But yeah, other than that, we're kind of good to go with this. I just need to figure out this. And so yeah, thanks a lot. I'll see you guys around.